Pizza. For true aficionados, Neapolitan pizza reigns supreme. Born in Naples, Italy, it's a cultural icon, simple and bursting with flavor. Its thin, slightly charred crust, San Marzano tomatoes, fresh mozzarella and fragrant basil create a symphony of flavor. Each bite is a journey to the heart of Italian culinary tradition. With our guide, you can recreate this masterpiece in your own kitchen. Neapolitan pizza's fame has spread globally. From bustling cities to quiet towns, pizzerias strive to recreate its magic. Its use of fresh, high-quality ingredients and dedication to tradition captivate the world. In this guide, we'll unlock the secrets of its dough, toppings, and baking process. Get ready to create a taste of Naples in your kitchen. The journey to authentic Neapolitan pizza begins with the dough, and at its heart is Tipo 00 flour. This finely milled Italian flour has a lower protein content, resulting in a soft, pliable crust. Its fine texture absorbs water readily, producing a lighter, airier dough. 00 flour is key to achieving authentic texture and flavor. Now let's gather lukewarm water, fine sea salt, instant yeast, and a touch of sugar. Yeast gives our dough life. We'll use instant yeasts, activated in lukewarm water with a pinch of sugar. This awakens the yeast, kickstarting fermentation. In about 5 to 10 minutes, the mixture becomes frothy and bubbly. Fermentation produces carbon dioxide gas, creating air pockets and a light, airy structure. This step is crucial for developing the complex flavors and textures of Neapolitan pizza dough. With our yeast activated, it's time to knead. Gradually incorporate 00 flour into the yeast mixture, then add salt. Knead on a floured surface until the dough becomes smooth and elastic. Kneading develops gluten, giving the dough its elasticity and structure. This process creates a dough capable of holding air bubbles, resulting in an airy crust. Our dough, now smooth and elastic, needs to rest. Place it in a lightly oiled bowl, cover, and let it rise in a warm place for 2 to 3 hours. The yeast ferments the sugars, producing gas bubbles that create a light texture. Optimal yeast activity occurs at around 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 to 27 degrees Celsius. Patience during this stage results in a flavorful, airy pizza crust. While the dough rests, we focus on the sauce. Authentic Neapolitan pizza sauce is simple, using San Marzano tomatoes. These tomatoes, grown in volcanic soil, are prized for their low acidity and delicate sweetness. Crush them by hand, season lightly with sea salt, and let their natural flavor shine. This simplicity allows the tomatoes to harmonize with the other ingredients. The crown jewel of our pizza is mozzarella. Use mozzarella di bufala campana for its unique flavor and texture. If unavailable, use high-quality fresh mozzarella, torn or sliced thinly. Avoid pre-shredded mozzarella, which contains additives that prevent proper melting. The mozzarella should complement, not overpower, the other ingredients. Basil and olive oil add bursts of flavor and aroma. Use fresh Genovese basil, adding some leaves before baking and a final flourish after. Drizzle high-quality extra virgin olive oil over the dough, mozzarella, and finished pizza. These ingredients should enhance, not overpower, the pizza. Neapolitan pizza is about simplicity and balance. Our risen dough is ready to be shaped. Gently punch down the dough, divide it, and form smooth balls. Let them rest for 15-20 minutes to relax the gluten. Handle the dough with care to preserve air bubbles. This ensures a light, airy crust. Stretch the dough by hand using gravity and gentle pressure. Flatten it with your fingertips, pushing air towards the edges. Drape it over your knuckles, stretching and rotating it evenly. Aim for a thin center and a slightly thicker, puffy crust. This creates a crust that's light, airy, and strong enough to hold toppings. Pay attention to the cornicione, the outer edge of the dough. Use your fingertips to create a slight ridge, preventing toppings from spilling over. Some prefer a more pronounced cornicione by folding the edge over itself. Ensure the cornicione is evenly distributed for even baking. Transfer the dough to a floured pizza peel or parchment paper for easy oven transfer. Section 1. A canvas of flavor. Preparing the base. Our stretched dough, now resting peacefully on its parchment paper, awaits its transformation into a true Neapolitan pizza. But before we unleash our toppings, we need to create a foundation that will prevent sogginess and enhance the overall flavor profile. Remember that drizzle of extra virgin olive oil we talked about? Now's the time to put it to good use. Using a pastry brush or the back of a spoon, gently spread a thin layer of olive oil over the surface of the dough, leaving a small border around the edge for the cornicione. This olive oil serves several purposes. First, it acts as a barrier, preventing the moisture from the sauce and toppings from soaking into the dough and making it soggy. Second, it adds a subtle richness and flavor to the crust, enhancing the overall taste of the pizza. As you spread the olive oil, pay attention to the thickness. We want just enough to coat the dough, not so much that it pools in the center or drips over the edges. A light touch is key here, allowing the flavors of the other ingredients to shine through. The art of less is more adding the sauce. With our olive oil base in place, it's time to introduce the star of the show, our simple yet flavorful San Marzano tomato sauce. Remember, the key here is restraint. We're not aiming to drown the pizza in sauce. Rather, we want to create a thin, even layer that allows the flavors of the tomatoes to shine through without overwhelming the other ingredients. Using a ladle or a large spoon, carefully spread the sauce over the dough, starting from the center and working your way outward in a circular motion. Leave a border of about an inch around the edge for the cornicione, allowing it to puff up and develop its characteristic char during baking. As you spread the sauce, pay attention to the consistency. If the sauce seems too thick, you can add a tablespoon or two of the tomato juice reserved from the can. Conversely, if the sauce seems too thin, you can drain it slightly before adding it to the dough. Remember, we're aiming for a balance of flavors and textures. The sauce should be present but not overpowering, complementing the other ingredients without masking their unique qualities. A symphony of textures, cheese and basil. With our sauce beautifully spread, it's time to introduce the mozzarella, the ingredient that adds a creamy richness and a satisfying stretch to every bite. We'll approach the mozzarella with care, ensuring it covers the surface without overloading the pizza. Fresh mozzarella melts evenly, creating pools of creamy goodness. Add a touch of freshness with our basil leaves, tear and scatter them over the mozzarella. The oven's heat releases their fragrant oils, infusing the pizza. A drizzle of perfection, olive oil and final touches. Our Neapolitan pizza is almost ready for its grand entrance into the fiery embrace of the oven. But before we bid it farewell, there's one final touch, one last drizzle of perfection that will elevate its flavor and aroma to new heights. Reach for that bottle of extra virgin olive oil once more, and with a light hand, drizzle a thin stream of oil over the surface of the assembled pizza. This final drizzle serves several purposes. It adds a glossy sheen to the mozzarella, hinting at the creamy goodness that awaits beneath the surface. It also helps to prevent the cheese from drying out during baking, ensuring a moist and flavorful final product. And perhaps most importantly, it adds another layer of flavor, a subtle fruitiness and pepperiness that complements the other ingredients and enhances the overall taste experience. As you drizzle the oil, resist the urge to go overboard. We want just a hint of olive oil, enough to enhance the flavors and textures without overwhelming them. Remember, Neapolitan pizza is all about simplicity and balance, allowing the quality of the ingredients to shine through. The heart of the matter-achieving oven Nirvana. Our Neapolitan pizza, adorned with its simple yet exquisite toppings, stands poised for its fiery transformation. We need an oven that mimics the intense heat of a traditional wood-fired pizza oven. Crank up the heat, preheat your oven to its highest setting, achieve a crisp, slightly charred crust with a soft and airy interior. Toppings cook to perfection in minutes. Use a pizza stone or steel for consistent heat. These surfaces absorb and retain heat. An inverted baking sheet can suffice. A dance with fire launching and baking the pizza. With our oven radiating heat like a fiery inferno, it's time to launch our pizza into its destiny. This is where things can get a bit tricky, requiring a delicate touch and a bit of practice to master. If you're using a pizza peel, lightly dust it with flour or cornmeal to prevent the dough from sticking. Carefully slide the assembled pizza from the parchment paper onto the peel, ensuring that it moves freely and hasn't adhered to the surface. Position yourself in front of the preheated pizza stone or baking sheet, and with a swift, confident motion, slide the pizza from the peel onto the hot surface. The goal is to transfer the pizza quickly and smoothly, minimizing the amount of heat lost from the oven. If you're using parchment paper, simply slide the paper with the pizza directly onto the hot stone or baking sheet. The paper will prevent sticking and will darken and crisp up during baking. Knowing when to say when. Visual cues for pizza perfection. As our pizza bakes, the aroma of melting mozzarella and baking dough will fill your kitchen, testing your patience and tempting you to open the oven door. Resist the urge. Opening the oven door prematurely will release precious heat, disrupting the baking process and potentially resulting in an undercooked crust. Instead, keep a watchful eye on the pizza through the oven window. We're looking for several visual cues that will tell us when our Neapolitan masterpiece is ready for its grand unveiling. First, the crust. It should be puffed and golden brown with a slight charring around the edges, a testament to the intense heat of the oven. The cornicione, that beautiful outer crust, should be puffed and airy with a slightly crisp exterior and a soft, chewy interior. Next, the cheese. It should be melted and bubbly, with a slight browning around the edges, indicating that it's reached the perfect stage of gooey goodness. Finally, the toppings. The tomato sauce should be slightly reduced and caramelized, adding a touch of sweetness and depth of flavor. The basil leaves should be wilted and fragrant, releasing their aromatic oils into the air. A symphony of senses, freshness and aroma. The moment has arrived. Our Neapolitan pizza, its crust a symphony of golden brown and char, its cheese bubbling invitingly, emerges from the fiery depths of the oven, a testament to the alchemy of heat and time-honored techniques. But before we surrender to the siren call of its cheesy aroma, there are a few final flourishes, a few last strokes of artistry that will elevate our creation to new heights of sensory delight. Remember those fresh basil leaves we carefully preserved? Now is the time to unleash their fragrant potential. Take a handful of leaves, their aroma a vibrant counterpoint to the cheesy, savory notes emanating from the pizza, and gently tear them into smaller pieces. Scatter these emerald green fragments over the surface of the pizza, allowing their fresh, peppery aroma to mingle with the other layers of flavor. Next, reach for that bottle of extra virgin olive oil one last time. This final drizzle, a mere whisper of liquid gold, serves not to saturate, but to enhance, adding a glossy sheen to the melted mozzarella and a subtle fruitiness that harmonizes with the other ingredients. As you lift the pizza from the baking surface, take a moment to appreciate the symphony of senses before you. The aroma, a tantalizing blend of baking bread, tangy tomatoes, melted cheese, and fragrant basil fills the air. The sight of the pizza, its crust a landscape of golden brown and char, its toppings a study in contrasts, whets the appetite. Sharing the bounty slicing and serving. The temptation to dive in is almost overwhelming, but patience, dear pizzaiolo. A masterpiece deserves to be savored and shared. Allow the pizza to rest for a minute or two. This prevents burning your mouth on the molten cheese. Gather your guests, for pizza is a symbol of shared enjoyment. Retrieve your pizza cutter or a sharp knife. Slice through the crust, dividing the circle into equal wedges. Aim for 6 to 8 slices, ensuring everyone gets a taste, and there you have it. A symphony of textures and flavors, ready to be devoured. And there you have it, steaming before you, a testament to your dedication and a tribute to the timeless tradition of Neapolitan pizza. No longer is this iconic dish confined to the bustling pizzerias of Naples. You have brought the soul of Italy into your own kitchen. Take a moment to appreciate the journey from the careful selection of 00 flour to the gentle kneading that awakened the gluten within. Recall the anticipation as the dough rose, a testament to the silent magic of yeast, and the satisfaction of shaping it with your fingertips. Remember the vibrant burst of San Marzano tomatoes, crushed by hand to preserve their inherent sweetness, and the creamy indulgence of fresh mozzarella, torn with care to ensure a perfect melt. Recall the final flourish of fragrant basil, a verdant counterpoint to the golden hues of the crust. This pizza, crafted with passion and care, is a testament to the power of simple ingredients transformed into something extraordinary. But the true magic of Neapolitan pizza lies not just in its creation, but in its consumption. So gather your loved ones, those who appreciate the art of a well-crafted pie, and prepare to savor the fruits of your labor. As you lift the first slice, feel the lightness of the crust, the gentle resistance as it yields to your touch. Inhale the intoxicating aroma, a symphony of baking bread, tangy tomatoes, melted cheese, and fragrant basil, and then take a bite. Let the flavors wash over you. The delicate sweetness of the San Marzano tomatoes, the creamy richness of the mozzarella, the subtle spice of the basil, all brought together by the crisp yet yielding embrace of the crust. This, dear reader, is the essence of Neapolitan pizza, a culinary tradition that transcends borders and generations, a testament to the enduring power of simple ingredients transformed into something truly extraordinary. And as you savor each slice, remember that you are now part of this time-honored tradition, a guardian of its secrets and an ambassador for its enduring appeal. So go forth, share your newfound knowledge, and spread the joy of authentic Neapolitan pizza, one perfectly crafted pie at a time.